Hey, what is up guys, HYDRA453 here and welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's video, I'll bring a quick review of the Roccat Kone Pure Ultra, and yes, I know it's been quite a while since this mouse released, and in fact I actually did buy the mouse earlier. I know that sounds a bit dumb, but I bought it off of a Chinese website, like I think it was a few weeks before it actually released everywhere else, so I got the mouse a lot earlier than expected. For some reason I didn't make a review on it, like when I got the mouse. I think I was just too excited and I was playing too much. I'm not really sure but what happened with that, but I've decided to finally make a review on it, mainly because I've been using this mouse for such a long time. Even though I've been switching my mice quite a lot with like a lot of other ones that I've got from Zowie, Jewels, and Razer even, you know, lots of different companies. And by the way, I will be doing a shape and size comparison in just a bit. Trying all those different mice, I keep going back to this mouse, and that's why I decided to make a review on it. I know I should have done it earlier, but better late than never. Enough rambling on, guys, let's go ahead and start with the review. Okay, so the KPU is a successor to the KPOE, which is a pretty well received mouse, mainly due to the shape and the size. So the mouse is the same shape and size as before, but they've slightly altered the design by making the logo more centered, and I kind of think that it makes it look more sleek in that way. But more importantly, that I've changed the weight with this mouse. So the Kone Pure Ultra weighs 66 grams, which actually makes it 22 grams lighter than the original Kone Pure Ultra. So it's definitely a noticeable difference, and I'm glad Roccat decided to go down the ultralight path in their mice. So it is the exact same shape as the Roccat Kone Pure Ultra. So if you guys have that mouse or you're familiar with it, this is exactly the same shape, which is a really good shape in my opinion. So it's mainly designed for a claw grip or maybe even a fingertip grip. I wouldn't necessarily say palm. If you grip like this is not really the best one for you, mainly because it's quite short and it's kind of tall, I guess, too. This has a very interesting design, sort of, I guess, because the clicks don't really go down more on the slope. So a lot of different mice, it sort of goes down like that, or like it sort of starts going down a lot earlier than this one does. But that's what makes this mouse really good, because you can sort of grip up here and still hit the clicks well, which some people really like. I've seen some good aimers on like Twitter and that sort of stuff that play a lot of Kovacs or whatever, those Kovacs grinders, and they definitely hold they use this mouse. They hold it really weirdly. Like I saw someone holding it like this, which is interesting grip style. I wouldn't really ever use that. I don't know why. It feels very weird to me. I kind of hold it like more like a sort of claw grip, and it feels really comfortable for me, you know, coming from other mice that I try claw gripping. Now, yes, this is an ergonomic mouse. It is very small as well, but as you can see, it is not at all symmetrical on either side. It is completely different on either side. Now, the cable is actually not even that bad. In my opinion, for being a rubber cable, this is actually not really a bad cable at all. With a bungee, it's not going to be at all intrusive, just like it's got a paracord on it. And I can say this from experience. I've paracorded literally every single mouse that I own. I don't own a single mouse that isn't paracorded. Actually, well, that excludes the Razer Viper that I have, Viper Mini. I paracorded my normal Viper. Yeah, I've got a bungee, and it never gets in my way, just like a paracord would. It never gets in my way either. So I think that's really good, considering this is rubber. So don't let the fact that this has got a rubber cable put you off. I mean, obviously you can go ahead and paracord it yourself. I would have done that, but you know, unlike other rubber cables or like those really disgusting braided cables, I've had no problem with this whatsoever. Now, the mouse feet that come with this mouse aren't really that great. These are third-party mouse feet, by the way. Otherwise I'd be saying good things about them. But the mouse feet that come with this mouse, they're not the best. They're just a generic black dyed PTFE mouse feet. So I mean, they do the job. It's fine, I guess. You can get used to it, I suppose. But if you're coming from a mouse that has pure PTFE mouse feet, like the white ones, then I'd suggest going and buying your own third-party mouse feet like I did. These ones are from, I think they're from Hotline Games. They're pretty good. These are better than HyperGlides in my opinion, mainly because the installation process is a little bit better since you get like an alcohol wiping cloth or whatever that, can remove the excess glue and all that sort of stuff, and it's a bit nicer to install, and they feel exactly the same as my HyperGlides. But I think HyperGlides are a slightly better deal, as you do get an extra pack as well. You get 2 sets of the mouse feet, but yeah. Okay, so coming from the left side, we have the EC2B, the Razer Viper Mini, of course the Kone Pure Ultra there in the middle. Then to the right of that, we've got the S2 and the XM1. So this is a pretty good bunch of mice that we sort of would be looking into, or maybe considering as well if you're looking at the KPU. So it's the S2 and the XM1 are really good for claw. Maybe the Viper Mini is kind of good for fingertip as well. Maybe the claw as well you could throw in there. And then of course we have the EC2B, which is another ergonomic mouse, which is quite large in comparison to the KPU, but a lot of people do seem to use it for claw grip when they play CSGO, for example. I've seen a lot of pros claw gripping the EC2B and EC2A, of course, the same shape. So here you can see it from the very top, and I'm going to do a quick side comparison as well. So I'm going to line them up on the side, try and do it the best I can, the best of my ability, so they're all lined up correctly, and you can get a good look at the side profile of all these mice, so you can see the comparison for yourself. Okay, so here we have the SE2B, the Viper Mini, KPU, S2, and the XM1. Okay, there's your size comparison. Let's go ahead and move on to the buttons. Now, the clicks on this mouse aren't really my favorite. I've tried multiple different switches in mice. I've even changed my own switches in my XM1 as well. So I've had my fair share of mice clicks and feeling them all and all that sort of stuff. And these ones aren't really the best. I'm going to give you a sound test in just a second. You can go back to the very start to see the timestamp for that. But just to give you a sort of description of what it feels like, they're very, they got a sort of mushy feeling, like while you're clicking it in. They're still very clicky. You have the clicking feeling, but they don't really travel very far down. It's kind of a hard thing. The only good thing about the clicks is that you can sort of go quite far back and they're still not, you know, really resistant. I mean, they're obviously more resistant to click down on this from when you're this far away, but they're not as bad as some other mice when you go really far from the, you know, click like up there. They are kind of light as well to press, especially the right one. I found the left one not to be as light, but this one's really, really light. So this is slightly more heavy. I don't really know what they did, but this one just feels a little bit easier to press down, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. I'd rather it be more, you know, balanced. It could just be my middle finger being heavier. I don't know. It could just be that, but I notice when I'm playing Overwatch or something like that, I do press right click a lot by accident, which can be annoying in some situations. But yeah, I don't know. It could just be me not paying attention or something like that. It might not be a problem for anyone else, but just wanted to bring that up just in case, you know, it is a problem for some other people. This mouse does actually have a software that you can go ahead and install to change up the lighting and all that sort of stuff, and you can change the DPI buttons. I actually turned off the DPI buttons. You can do that in the software if you'd like to. Mainly because I never need to change my DPI. It's just stupid, and I always pressed it by accident. If I was scrolling like hard, you know, in a game or something, I'd press it by accident occasionally, and I could be, you know, if I hadn't, you know, changed it, it could have been a bit of a problem. So I'd recommend doing that if you're not going to change your DPI. And if you have a mouse right now that's got DPI buttons near the scroll wheel, and you're, you know, constantly accidentally pressing it, and you can't turn it off, well, if you get this mouse, you can in fact turn it off in the software. The side buttons aren't really my favorite either. I don't really like the way they're angled. It's a little bit annoying having that weird sort of sharp edge coming from this sort of curved area. I kind of wish it was a little bit smoother of a transition when you're moving your thumb up. I don't actually use my buttons at all ever in any games. I don't really know why. I kind of have everything bound to my keyboard, so for me it hasn't really been an issue. But if you use them a lot, do keep that in mind. It might be a little bit hard to get used to them. I wish they were sort of more, you know, easier to press and more curved, just like this would be. I don't really know what else I could have done though. It just feels weird having that sort of jagged edge there, in my opinion. Now, another thing I might sort of note, it's kind of a sort of nitpicking at this point, but just in the buttons, there's no comfort curves, which is a little bit, you know, odd in my opinion. I sort of like having those little slight curves in the buttons, just because, like, you know, it feels a bit nicer for your index fingers when going there. But again, this is a claw gripping mouse and a fingertip gripping mouse, and like I said before, some people grip it from over here and sort of stuff, and it could interfere with that grip style. So I guess flight isn't the worst thing, and I can still, it's not like I'm not going to stop using this mouse just because it's got no, you know, comfort curves or whatever. It's totally fine for me, but let's keep that in mind if you really like them. The scroll wheel, it feels a little bit odd as well. It's quite loose, I guess. It's not like a, you can still sort of make out the steps pretty easily, and it's very simple to scroll it. It doesn't make an annoying sound like the BenQ Zalia ones do, but I just, you know, going up is a little bit more annoying than going down. I don't know what they did. It's quite loud doing that, but yeah. Alright, let's move on to the actual sound test now that you've probably been waiting for, if you're interested in that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and just record the scroll wheel, DPI buttons, side buttons, and the left and right click as well. So let's go ahead and start now. Alright, well that pretty much wraps it up for this video, guys. If you ended up enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.